Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher with our news producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. The Burlington Police Department conducted an extensive search last weekend for town resident Kaylin Rose, who was tragically found deceased on the morning of Saturday, February 18th. Police Chief Thomas Brown told BNews he was notified around 8:30 Friday night that a resident had walked away from home and was believed to be in mental distress. The police department, along with colleagues from the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, or NEMLIC, searched for Rose that night as the temperatures dropped from the 50s to the 30s. Brown called off the search at 1 a.m. on Saturday. Here he is speaking with BNews producer Sydney Bowles.
Friday night, you certainly have hope that you're going to find this person alive. When you have to cancel that search at 1 in the morning, knowing how cold it is and some of the other circumstances of the investigation, your objective reality is that most likely you're turning this into a recovery mission the next day. And unfortunately, that's what happened.
A person out walking in the woods just over the Wilmington line spotted Rose's body around 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. Brown thanked NEMLIC for its assistance and the Burlington community for its support and tips during the search. He declined to share any additional information out of respect for Rose's family, and we'll wait to hear from the medical examiner. The Burlington Select Board is revisiting and revising its policies around alcohol. The updated policies, if the Select Board adopts them, could change the hours in which businesses can sell alcohol and added language about bring your own alcohol events, which are not currently in the regulations. The revised policy is much longer than the current one, so the Select Board members are taking time to read through the new rules before they vote on any changes. The cost of sending students with disabilities to specialized out-of-district schools is rising. The Burlington School Committee and Superintendent of Schools Eric Conti are planning an executive session to discuss the rising costs and how they're going to pay for it. The cost of that out-of-district tuition is rising by 14% this year, state mandated, and much higher than the previous year's increase of 2.5%. The increase is set by the Massachusetts Operational Services Division. School committee member Christine Monaco assured parents of students with disabilities that the district would find a way to cover the costs.
Let there be no concern. We understand that special needs costs are what they are, and we're going to pay them.
Executive sessions are closed to the public on this subject and will allow officials to discuss individual students' needs without risking their privacy. The session is scheduled for February 28th. About 65 Burlington residents attended a virtual meeting to discuss the redesign of the town's Mall Road corridor. Officials are hard at work reimagining the corridor as a dense and walkable space, but it will be years before the rezoning, design, and construction are all complete. According to Burlington's Economic Development Director, Melissa Tintakalos, those who attended the meeting were worried about increased traffic and potential environmental impacts and hoped the new designs would include some new mid-range housing units. There will be more community meetings about the redesign, as well as a weekend-long design event in April where residents can explore physical maps and plans for the site in person. Town meeting will need to approve any zoning changes before redevelopment work begins. Burlington families that receive SNAP benefits will soon see some extra dollars dry up. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government expanded SNAP, dollars that families can use to help cover the cost of groceries. But final expanded benefit payment will reach recipients on March 2nd, and Burlington's food pantry, People Helping People, is expecting greater need in the community. BNews producer Sydney Bowles has the story.
Some of People Helping People's dozens of volunteers are on site this morning, packing bags of dry goods for Burlington residents in need. Pantry manager Julie Lewis says things are only going to get busier.
We do anticipate an increase in need as the COVID SNAP benefits go away, because this is the first time we've seen this since COVID started. So I think there are probably a lot of people out there who are just right at the edge that are going to be in a really bad situation if they don't get food assistance coming up starting next month.
Pantry Director Jim Sheridan says when COVID benefits expire in March, families could lose as much as $200 a month in food benefits.
A lot of people are reluctant to take, too much because they feel that, I want to give it to someone else who has a greater need. But we do have an abundance of inventory here, so I would encourage people to not hold back and take what they need.
Manager Julie Lewis says even those who don't receive SNAP benefits but are struggling with grocery costs should check to see if they're qualified for the food pantry.
The cap for income for our services is higher than for SNAP benefits. So there are folks out there who could be coming to the food pantry that may not qualify for SNAP benefits. So if you're not sure, if you're having trouble maybe paying for your bills month to month or week to week, you might just call us and see what that income level is, because it's higher than you might think.
People Helping People is currently looking for donations of cereal, condiments, pasta sauce, coffee, tea, toilet paper, baby wipes, and diapers. For BNews, I'm Sydney Bowles.
If you're interested in donating to the food pantry or seeing if you qualify for their services, you can call 781-270-6625. The Burlington Police community is remembering two longtime friends and former department officers who passed away within days of one another. Richard Hovass passed away at 81 at the Kaplan Family Hospice House in Danvers. Hovass graduated from Burlington High School in 1959 and went on to serve in the Marine Corps before coming home to join the department. He worked with police dogs to investigate missing children, fugitive searches, and even a bank robbery. Hovass's longtime friend, Richard Shepard, passed away just 2 days after him on February 14th at the age of 82. Shepard also graduated from Burlington High School and went on to serve in the U.S. Army. He joined the police force in 1965 and served as a juvenile officer, detective, firearms instructor, and sergeant before he retired in 2002. Shepard and Hovass were part of a gang of friends who all served together on the police force. Shepard's obituary remembers the crew as friends of life, for life, who always had each other's backs. A different law enforcement agency, the Middlesex Sheriff's Office, is hiring. They're looking for registered nurses and licensed practical nurses, as well as corrections officers. The office is offering free weekly written exams for potential corrections officers. Other open positions include behavioral health worker, legal counsel, and an HVAC professional. Interested individuals can learn more and apply at middlesexsheriff.org/HR. In a world of fast fashion and cheap, trendy clothes, one longtime tailor in Burlington is sticking with tradition. For Black History Month, BNews reporter John Vias paid a visit to Burlington's business owner, Sene, whose journey took him from Senegal to Paris to right here in our backyard.
When you pull into the plaza on 264 Cambridge Street, right across from the laundromat, you'll find Burlington Expert Tailoring. Sene is a master tailor and an expert in classic and contemporary style clothing.
Really, to tell you the truth, I'm the luckiest human being alive. I mean, being here, being in clothes, if you will just go to Neiman, buy a suit for $3,000, and they will tell you, oh, that's a little bit too big, that's a little bit too tight, the sleeves are okay. You bring it here, that's an honor for me to say, okay, let's shorten the sleeve, let's just tidy it up, let's just make it fit right for you. It's more the fit than the value or the price of the garment.
Born in Senegal, Africa, Sene follows in the footsteps of his father to follow his lead in his love for tailoring. Sene won a scholarship to go to school in Paris, to study tailoring, and lived there for 20 years, while learning and growing with the French culture.
I mean, that was really fun, and that was interesting, because the best tailor were there. That was the city of fashion and everything. And at the same time, I could just, being young, for example, I saw the Beatles at Olympia. I mean, being 20 years old, seeing the Beatles, I saw Miles Davis there. That was great. That was great. That was work and pleasure at the same time.
Sene always wanted to run his own tailoring business. He moved to Boston in the late 1980s, working for Luigi Mauro's tailor shop in Burlington and then Filene's at various malls around Massachusetts and New Hampshire. His customers motivated him to open up his own business, and his dream finally came true.
I worked at Filene's for 17 years. And the last years of Filene's, I was the tailor in the mall here at Burlington Mall. By being at Burlington Mall, at the same time, I work part-time at Ostuni's Men's Clothing across from Cafe Escadrille. I work part-time at Ajar, Big and Tall. So when Filene's closed, I just say, wait a minute. No, I'm not working for somebody else. Let me just open my tailor shop. And since here used to be a tailor shop before, because we used to have Luigi Mauro. Luigi was here, and I knew Luigi before. So I decided, okay, let me go see where. I came, and that was empty. I rent the place, and that's it. Start having fun.
Sene loves his craft and everybody that comes into his shop. He plans to work as a tailor for as long as he can.
My next life, if I met the High Mighty and told me that, oh, you know what, I will send you back in the real world, what do you want to do? I want to be a tailor again. Otherwise, I don't want to even come back here.
From Burlington Expert Tailoring on Cambridge Street, this is John Villas for BNews.
The Burlington Players Organization is putting on a night of theater featuring 12 10-minute plays. BNews producer Robert Paris checked it out and brings us this report.
You can kiss me if you want to. I'm sorry, what?
The Burlington Players are gearing up for their upcoming production of Talking to Strangers by Christopher Lockhart. I went down to one of the rehearsals to catch up with the crew.
Christopher Lockhart, the playwright, had his plays come through our play reading committee, and they were read and decided on, and we really enjoyed all of the different types of shows that he had written. There are about 12 of them, so we're really excited to produce them here at the Burlington Players. Yeah, we can't be more thrilled.
I honestly hope they get to take away a nice evening of theater. With everything going on with like the pandemic and the world shutting down and people not being able to go out and just enjoy themselves, I hope they get the opportunity to just take in 12 really fun dynamic plays and leave here almost like floating on a cloud, having experienced a wonderful night of theater.
I mean, the show itself is called Talking to Strangers, and I mean, it's literally two strangers. Sometimes they know each other, sometimes they don't, and they delve in, and the great thing about these plays is that they are true one-act plays where the characters begin at a very specific point and they end very different than they began, which is, again, makes everything, the evolution of the characters, incredibly well. And as I said before, the process of rehearsing and getting the actors to do their best work has been amazing. I think a lot of these actors are doing some of the best work that they've ever done. And it really is amazing to me.
Playwright and Massachusetts native Christopher Lockhart came by the set to see his short plays come to life.
I've been writing plays for 10 years, and my 10-minute plays have been performed over 250 times by 90 different theaters in the United States and internationally. They've been produced as far as Australia and Hong Kong and Cairo, Egypt. I just had a show there this spring. They've also been produced in 10 different volumes of plays, including 4 editions of Smith & Krause's Best 10-Minute Plays of the Year. Talking to Strangers is a night of 12 of my 10-minute plays written during my career, and lovingly and expertly portrayed by the Burlington Players with no expenses spared.
You can check out the performance playing through March 11th at the Park Playhouse. For tickets, go to burlingtonplayers.com. From the Park Playhouse, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
BNews meteorologist Peter Brown has your weekly update, and stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Hello and welcome to your BNews Weather Report. John Villas here, filling in for Peter Brown, who is out this week. And it's going to be cold. Beginning on Friday, temperatures will be partly cloudy and windy, with a high 35 degrees and a low 7 degrees. Saturday will be cloudy, with a high 24 and low 12. And Sunday remains cloudy, with a high 36 and low 17 degrees. Monday will be mostly cloudy, with a high 33 and a low of 26. We'll see some snow on Tuesday, with temperatures at a high 36, low 35. And Wednesday returns to a partly cloudy sky, with a high 37, low 23. Finally on Thursday, Temperatures will rise to a high 41, low 28, but keep your rain gear handy. We'll be getting both rain and snow on that day. And that's all for your BNEWS Weather Report. I'm John Vias, saying as Peter Brown does, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week. Stay warm and dry.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On March 2nd at 7 p.m., the Burlington Historical Society is having a meeting and will feature Dr. Robert Wise to talk about the story of Leahy Hospital. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. The event is held at the Human Resources Building at the Council on Aging. On March 5th at 3 p.m., the First Church Congregational in Bedford is having a chamber music concert. There will be 140 musicians from more than 40 cities and towns in Northeast Massachusetts and Southern New Hampshire. The concert will be live streamed from their website to reach a wider audience at www.nmyo.org. Also on March 5th at 3 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a European art series with Jane O'Neill called Parisian Cafes and Impressionist Painting. To register for this Zoom event, go to burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
As always, there's a lot going on with Burlington High School sports. Let's check in with BNews sports reporter Anthony Maytost for all the latest.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Maytost in BNEWS Weekly Sports Report. We've reached the end of the winter sports season and the MIA playoffs are about to begin. 3 gymnasts, Ava Shank-Davis, Sam Wynn, and Jenna Linnaeus from the Lady Devils gymnastics team competed in the MIA state individuals on the 20th. Shank-Davis did not compete. Wynn came in 5th place on the bars and 6th on the floor exercise. Linnaeus on the floor exercise as well and finished in 21st place. The ladies will compete at sectionals on February 25th at Algonquin Regional High School. Girls basketball competed against Malden Catholic at home on the 16th. Let's go to the highlights.
Girls had their final home regular season game against Malden Catholic. In the first period, the Devils scored 11 points, while Malden Catholic scored 10. Malden Catholic scored 10 points in the second, taking the lead. Devils scored 9, 20-19 MC at half. In the third, MC scored another 10 points, while Burlington scored 6. 30-25 MC after 3. MC finished it off in the fourth with another 12 points, and Burlington added 6. 42-31 Malden Catholic.
Finished out the season with a win in Waltham, 61-48 on the 21st. Now they wait for the seeding for the MIA playoff tournament with a 9-11 record. Boys basketball finished the regular season over Westford Academy on the 17th. Let's go to the highlights.
Boys basketball wrapped up the regular season against Westford Academy. In the first, Westford Academy had 12 points. Burlington added 10. 12-10 Westford Academy. WA kept it going as they added 13 points, and the Devils added 14 points. 25-24 Westford Academy at half. Burlington had a big momentum shift in the third as they added 17 points to the board, and WA with 10. 41-35 Burlington. The Devils kept it going as they added another 25 points, and Westford Academy with 20. 66-55 was the final, Burlington.
The Devils finished the season at 15-5 and wait for playoff seeding. Girls hockey had 2 shutout games against Wakefield, 4-0 on the 18th, and Woburn 3-0 on the 21st. Burlington finished the regular season at 14-4-2 and are waiting for their opponent in this year's playoffs. The boys hockey team competed against Woburn Memorial on the 16th at home. Let's go to the highlights.
Boys hockey had a game against Woburn Memorial High School. Let's hit the ice. In the first period, Devils scored first, 1-0. The Tanners tied up the game shortly after, 1-1. Woburn took the lead 2-1 a little later, and it was 2-1 after the first period. In the second, Woburn scored 4 more goals. Burlington notched another goal in the second as well. The scores stayed the same in the third with the final 6-3 Woburn Memorial.
Last weekend, Burlington got back into the win column with a 2-1 victory over Wakefield Memorial on the 18th. On President's Day, Burlington competed in the 30th annual Ed Cahoon tournament with a special ceremony honoring former head coach Bob Conceition. The Devils lost in Game 1 to Framingham, 7-2. They close out the season on the 22nd with another round of the Cahoon Tournament against Medford. As this taping, the game is underway. We will have a full update on the game in next week's Sports Report. Athletes on both Burlington track teams competed at the MIAA Track and Field Championship on February 19th. Both teams finished in second place, with the girls getting a total of 58 points, and the boys came away with 45 points. You can check out the full results at bcattv.org/sports. Graduating seniors from the team are Leah Marshall and Grace Hannafin. 15 seniors from the boys team are departing in the offseason. Senior captains Marcus Tucci and Ahmad Kiswani from the Burlington wrestling team competed in the Division III MIAA State Tournament on February 18th. Check out the full results at bcattv.org/sports. Both athletes took home 6th place with 21 points at states and qualified for the All-States meet this coming weekend. Red Devil swimmer and senior Alex Janov competed in the Division II MIAA State Championship meet at MIT Pool in Cambridge over President's Day weekend. Janov came in 17th place with his performance in the 50-yard freestyle with a time of 23.43. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to guys in the studio.
As always, we finish up with a photo of the week sent in by our viewers. This week it's Steve Moran's shot of the crescent moon over the Charles River. We'd love to see your photos, anything you'd like to share about any subject. Send them to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. And that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Sydney Bowles, Chris Flaherty, Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Gretchen Carey, and Anthony Matos. Thank you for joining us.